Everyone loves the sight of beautiful nature. Nature doesn't send an invoice. It doesn't demand rent for flood protection or air purification. Yet every day, ecosystems save us money, quietly and without credit. Now imagine if they disappeared. What would it cost to build what nature gives us for free? To understand the true value of nature, we use two simple methods in environmental economics, which is avoided cost and restoration cost. Avoided cost, also called damage cost avoided or cost savings, is a method used to value ecosystem services by estimating the costs that would have been incurred if those ecosystem services were lost or degraded. For example, a coastal city is considering whether to preserve its mangrove forest. The city decides to invest in the conservation of forests, and the outcome is during a subsequent storm, the mangroves act as a natural barrier, reducing the impact of flooding and preventing damage to infrastructure. So the avoided cost here is the expenses that would have been incurred in repairing flood damage, such as rebuilding roads, homes and other infrastructure that are considered avoided costs. By preserving mangroves, the city saves money that would have otherwise been spent on disaster recovery.
Restoration cost, also known as replacement cost, is the estimate amount needed to restore a damaged ecosystem to its original state. It reflects the value of ecosystem service based on the cost of actions like cleaning, replanting, or restocking species. For example, after a river is polluted by an industrial accident, the company may need to remove pollutants, restore native fish, and rehabilitate nearby habitats. The total spending on these efforts is called the restoration cost.
We often treat nature as free because we don't see it invoiced, but these methods make nature's value visible in ringgit and cents. That's what matters when decision makers can measure the value. They can make better choices, not just for budgets, but for the planet. If it has value, it has protection.
How do we put a price on nature? Two common methods, avoided cost and restoration cost, which help us value ecosystem services. Let's break them down. Avoided cost is simple. It estimates how much money we save by letting nature do the work, like mangroves reducing storm damage. Pros, easy to apply using existing data, makes a strong case for conservation, and uses real-world costs, which stakeholders understand. But it only values what has a clear cost and assumes savings equal value, which may miss nature's full worth. Restoration cost estimates how much it would cost to repair or replace an ecosystem. Pros gives a tangible dollar value and useful in legal and policy decisions, but it may undervalue nature if full restoration isn't possible, and costs can vary dramatically. Both methods have their place, but remember, nature's true value goes beyond numbers.
Case study number 1, Peat Swamp Forest Carbon Storage. In this case study, Malaysia peat swamp forest acts as massive carbon sink, storing large amount of carbon that would otherwise contribute to global warming if released. The avoided cost method here estimates the economic value of this carbon storage by calculating the social cost of carbon emission avoided through forest conservation. Research shows that the net present value of this service ranges from 7,000 ringgit to 8,000 ringgit per hectare, emphasizing the peatland vital role in climate regulation. This valuation helps policymakers recognize the financial benefit of protecting this forest, which otherwise would impose high costs on society through the climate damage. In the Johor River Basin, wetland and forested area play a crucial role in regulating flood by absorbing and slowing down stormwater runoff. If this natural buffer were lost, the region would experience more frequent and severe flooding, leading to expensive damage to home and infrastructure. The avoided cost method estimates the value of these natural services by calculating the costs that the society avoid, such as building costly flood barrier and repairing flood damage. This approach demonstrates that conserving wetland is not only environmentally sound, but also economically smart, providing a
mangrove reforestation at Tanjung Piai, which is a highly eroded coastal area on the west coast of Peninsular Malaysia. The modeling simulates wave action, tidal flows, and sediment transport to identify the most suitable zones for mangrove planting and protection structures. In terms of ecosystem service valuation, this study supports the restoration cost method. It helps estimate the value of coastal protection services provided by mangroves by calculating the cost of coastal bund construction, sediment filling, and seeding, plantation, and maintenance. The project reflects the economic value of the lost or degraded services. The second case study is on Carey Island, Malaysia, highlights how the restoration cost method can be used to value mangrove ecosystem services. In 2008, a degraded mangrove area was rehabilitated using a submerged breakwater and mangrove replanting. The total cost was around $296,000 per 0.01 kilometer square. This investment reflects the economic value of key ecosystem services like coastal protection, sediment retention, and habitat recovery. Over time, natural regeneration improves soil condition, showing that restoration not only replaced lost services but also supported long-term ecological recovery.
If you guys are interested to learn more regarding avoided costs and restoration costs, there are many numerous studies that you can refer, such as all of these point out to the importance of the conservation of the natures by putting monetary value into it. Hence, as the proverb say, prevention is better than cure.